Man! Okay, so that there is a lot of money. I don't understand. You know what I need to know? Where is the line to where a company says, okay, people are rejecting woke, companies are going broke, that rhymed like to play the game bars. Where is the line that they say, all right, let's just take our chances and drop it and see what happens? Or let's go back, rework this, and then bring it out? Or let's just trash it. Let's write it off. I'm just wondering, because there's companies still coming out with stuff. Did you see they put out Agatha after the Acolyte, and they know they shouldn't have. And we've got other companies putting stuff out. And I'm just wondering what made Sony say, yeah, we're good. And you know what? Let's charge money for it too. Was it $40 for the game? Some people were saying that that's the reason why the PS5 Pro is $700. It's an adjustment for what they're losing here. Very interesting thoughts there, though. So it says here, it seemed obvious that Sony was going to take a huge loss on CONCORD, given its high cost, immediately disastrous player count, and unprecedented shutdown. But it may have been even worse than everyone thought. A new report from Sacred Symbols, Colin Moriarty, citing a source that worked on CONCORD, claims that the game has a higher budget than anyone envisioned. A full $400 million, broken up into two halves of development. You catch what the video below. You catch watch the video below, but I'll have a summary beneath it. And how long is this video? Maybe I'll just, read the summary. CONCORD. Oh, it's 9 minutes long. Okay, so what happened? Before the game hit alpha state, they already spent $200 million on it. Unclear how much from original owners / investors and how much it was from Sony. After that, from 2021 to 2024 launch, Sony spent another $200 million on it. The game was in a laughable shape when it was shown in that alpha state. So Sony felt like they needed to spend that much more to, at minimal, to make it viable. Major expense was needed to outsource much of the game to other studios. In Q1 of 2023, some aspects of the game had not been worked on at all, like onboarding and monetization. I say this may explain the price, and no battle pass is more than some conscious, noble decision to change the model. Also, how bad the earned cosmetics were. Ongoing costs to maintain the game would be additional millions a month. CONCORD is the biggest budget game that Sony has ever released. Sounds like Waterworld. You know what I mean? Remember when Waterworld was the most expensive movie to ever been made with Kevin Costner, and it failed, bombed? I never saw it. Maybe one day I'll watch it. The biggest loss they ever taken. There are other games being worked on at Sony that cost more than this, but in terms of what's already out, this is the largest. It's a total loss. Why did it happen? CONCORD was said to be the future of PlayStation. The future? I don't understand these decisions. And Sony has made a lot of great decisions with games. That's why I don't understand this. They said it was a Star Wars-like project. They were big multimedia plans between the cinematics and inclusion of things like Amazon's secret level. There was a culture of toxic positivity vibe where you could not say anything negative internally about the game. Really, that's what this is all about. I've heard this in fleeting moments of toxic positivity. Never paid attention to it, but I was like, oh, that's a new word into the zeitgeist. So let me figure out and find out what that is. Character designs, etc. No one was allowed to meaningfully change the course of this game. See? That was your first mistake. This was CEO of Sony Interactive, Herman Hulse Baby, who was a massive champion of the game. All you had to do is sit Mr. Hulse down and show him all of the YouTubers that have issues with all these games. And then show him all of the headlines of all of the games and movie projects and television series and comic books and books and everything else in between that are failing because of making products like this. And I think maybe he would have changed his mind. I don't think he would have. Like, I don't see how you could keep moving forward on something like this. Like, if I was president of the country, like, it's just not going to happen. Yeah, shut that down. My first day, shut that down. Okay? Oh, you too much? All right. Change all the characters and make it like it was a normal game. Bud Light. That's all I'm going to say from now on. Bud Light. Every time you have a suggestion like that, team, no disrespect, Bud Light. Okay? I will not burn this company to the ground. Do you understand? Thank you. Cape flap, and I walk out of the room. Now I'm going to be dressed like Kazuya, so it's going to be a trench coat flap. Some of this still seems to be strange. Budget aside, as given AAA bloat these days, I can't believe that. But how do you look at a game in a laughable state and alpha 2 years ago, scramble to outsource work to get it finished, and still believe it's the future? Yeah. And the potential Star Wars-like property? Star Wars comparisons are always a tall order. Yeah. Should have just said Marvel. I just said something like that. We heard that said about the goal of Bungie's Destiny back in the day, but Destiny succeeded and has lasted for 10 years. CONCORD lasted 2 weeks. I guess there is the toxic positivity, which has been confirmed by other sources, where even if that sounds ridiculous, you can't say that, especially if this was a game cradled by the entire head of Sony Interactive. I'd argue putting this much faith in a game that had that's this bad is almost fully disqualifying for that role. The head of Firewalk has already stepped down, and it seems close to impossible the team survives, either dissolved into other studios or shut down entirely. This is arguably the biggest video game disaster in history by financial loss, and there needs to be someone held responsible. Look, all of these companies know what to do. They just need to get back to basics. They know. Drop all the DEI, ESG crap. Start making games that people like again, and they'll be fine. There's always going to be losses. There are always going to be games that don't work. But right now, you're making it more games that don't work. More movies that don't work. More series that don't work. More cartoons that don't work. You get an idea? More products that don't work. It's happening all over the place. It's destroying companies. Why continue? 10 million subscribers.